Good morning, I'm Jennifer St. James, and welcome to another edition of Gig of the Week. Gig of the Week airs on the Sonic Coast every Thursday at 9 a.m., and I feature an indie band or an artist, and I talk a little bit about the artist's background, a little bit about the venue, and then I feature a couple songs from them, and I talk about their upcoming gig and where that's going to be every week. If you're an independent artist or musician and would like to be featured on Gig of the Week, you can go to our Facebook or Instagram pages and send us a message, or you can go to the Artists tab on our Sonic Coast app and send us an email. On today's show, please welcome the City Lines. So a couple of weeks ago, Lori Stratton from the Stratton Setlist sat down with the City Lines and talked to them about their new album, and she did just a great interview. So I recommend that you go to the strattonsetlist.com and Google that for the City Lines, and you can read the whole interview. I did take a couple pieces of information from that interview that she did, and they're little pieces of information that you'll hear throughout the Gig of the Week today. The City Lines are a band that hails from the Ann Arbor, Michigan area. Pat Deneau is the vocalist, guitarist, and songwriter behind a lot of these songs that I'm going to feature today. And he's a proud member of the Ann Arbor Fire Department as well as the lead singer and guitarist for the band. And then we have Bob Zammit on drums and Megan Marcoux on bass, flute, and vocals, which rounds out the band. Prescribed Fires is the band's third album, and it talks about their well-thought-out songwriting themes, and it covers sensitive and difficult topics such as parenthood, career, mental health, substance abuse addiction, heritage, and the environment. That's a lot of stuff. I'm going to share a couple of the themes in the songs from their new album. And Pat Deneau, he's a great guy and a wonderful songwriter. I got a chance to chat with him throughout the week, and I got to get to know him a little bit. He's a proud father, a husband, a firefighter, EMT, and he's also the lead singer of the City Lines. And he wrote this song called Hits the Same about the adrenaline that he gets from work and music. And he says the musician firefighter's heart pounds as he climbs on a fire truck with the Ann Arbor Fire Department, or he sets foot on stage with the City Lines and sings, "I don't know what I'm doing here, but my heart is racing, and this is the price to feel so alive." And on a similar topic, Pat shares his experience about the dangers of alcoholism and addiction with his song Out Loud. And he talks about how dealing with drinking as a coping mechanism and how he had to take steps to stop it. And for Pat, it was becoming a problem and it was affecting his mental health. And he said it was a very habitual thing. And what Pat found, especially working in public safety, that the two shouldn't be together. So he quit drinking, and he thinks he's better off mentally in a better space because of it. Pat talks also about his heritage as a member of the Sault Ste. Marie tribe of Chippewa Indians. It's a tribe from the Upper Peninsula, and he is so connected to his Indian heritage and his Native American ancestors, and he has a desire to learn more about his past. And he wrote the song Blood and Smoke to talk about that and help him embrace his authentic self as well as his roots. And he says, is the river washing away heritage? Is it taking it to another place? Do you hop in the river and ride it, or do you stand in the river and hold put and capture what you can? This song is about Pat finding himself, but it's also about the choices that he wants to make for his daughter, Isla. He feels that his heritage is her heritage, so he wants to get that personal stuff in a pile together so that he knows what to pass on and be good stewards of that legacy for her. So I'm going to get to the song that we're going to feature here in a minute. It's called The Bear. And the Goo Goo Dolls are a big influence on the City Lines. And the Dizzy Up the Girl album from the Goo Goo Dolls from the 1990s was one album that the whole band could agree on was like their sound that they were hoping for. And so when they recorded this album, and especially on this song, The Bear, they kind of modeled it after the Goo Goo Dolls Broadway, which is a really cool, straightforward, guitar-y, jangy pop song, right? Which mimics some of that guitar playing and phrasing in The Bear. And they have a guest guitarist, Alex Anest, who plays steel guitar on this song as well to give that unique flavor that it has. So right now I'm going to give you City Lines off their new album, Prescribed Fires. This one is called The Bear on Michigan Sonic Coast. Thanks for tuning us in to the Gig of the Week.
We grew up right under Michigan trees, running right through the falling leaves with you.
Thanks for streaming us on the Sonic Coast. That is music from the City Lines. It's called The Bear, and we are featuring them on this week's Gig of the Week. Right now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the tunes that are on Prescribed Fires, the new album release that they have. It is their third studio album, and it's really unique because it took them a lot of time, 2 years, to put this album together, and they actually use the technique of treating each song like it's its own piece and arrangement. So that's why you hear like 10 songs and 8 different genres, because it's just all over the place. I mean, they are lyrical, they are thrashing to like a harder alt rock, they're more pop in some songs. And the album was produced in LA by producers Brandon Benson and John Graber. And coincidentally, they did it during the wildfires, flooding, and protests. So the album reflects much of that environmental and human chaos and concerns that were going on at the time. And also, they took it back to Michigan for a final mix down, and a special shout out to Dave Roof from Rooftop Recording right here in Grand Blanc, Michigan, for putting some of those final touches on the album for the City Lines. So I'm going to get into the next song that we're going to play here. It is called Wildfire Skies, and it talks about the dangers of climate change and the impact that it has on the planet. It features Kat Stye on backing vocals. Kat contributed an amazing vocal performance to this song, and she's going to join them this Friday night on stage tomorrow night with her band Kat Stye and the Ferals. So you'll want to get your tickets, and I will get into how you get your tickets for the show at Ziggy's in just a few moments. But Bob, the drummer, has a nonprofit environmental agency job, and he is critically aware of the dangers that our planet faces. Bob and Pat are both concerned about this issue because they want their kids to have it better than they have it on this topic, and it looks like they may even have it worse. Bob says the science is there and that the interventions now will hopefully help the band's kids and grandkids have a better time with the environment and climate change in the future. But we've made so many mistakes as a species that it's going to haunt our future generations, and that's what this guy is worried about. And it's an overall theme for this song and the band. So let's get to the album release show. It's going to be the Prescribed Fires album release. City Lines are going to be at Ziggy's in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Doors open at 8. Special guests, Kat Stye and the Ferals, as well as Carmel Liberty. You can visit the City Lines Facebook page or the venue for the event link, as well as the Gig of the Week post featured right here on the Sonic Coast social media pages. Also, feel free to share this event on your social media and invite your friends to the show. Tickets are really cheap. They're only $10. And if you want to support the new release and purchase it, you can do that by going to the show and buying their vinyl or their downloads, or you can visit the City Lines webpage at thecitylinesmusic.com, and it'll take you right to Bandcamp where you can download those tunes. I'm going to close out this week's Gig of the Week with the City Lines song Wildfire Skies with Kat Stye on vocals. Thank you for tuning in, and hope you can join me every Thursday at 9 a.m. for Gig of the Week right here on the Sonic Coast.